I think Sashel is frozen. Oh no! She was just thinking.
She's just frozen in real life.
She's IRL frozen this time.
I literally was just thinking. I was thinking about how much work it would be to cook dinner every day.
So let's begin. I mean, it's episode 2. Y'all know why you're here now. Hopefully at this point, like we've said it many times, posted it on our Instagram. Go check it out at Booyah Pro. It's just now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the topic. We've already been talking for hours.
Yeah, we're not doing that. We don't need to air that right now.
Today's episode is called Pass the Culture, Please. I always say please, always have your manners. And the reason why we named it that is because we're going to be talking about food. Not just what kinds of food we like, but also we kind of touched on it a little bit in the last episode, how the imposition of one's culture onto your food tastes can sometimes be uncomfortable and or downright insulting, depending on what they ask you if you have. No, I do not have hot sauce on me, just for everyone to know. I don't carry it around. I know It's a big thing in the South, but I don't carry hot sauce around. So we talked a little bit about that, but we're also going to talk about not just the bad side of it, because I know last episode kind of leaned a little more negative, just because obviously we were venting the frustrations that we have. But there's also something so cool about being mixed and being able to taste the palate of those two cultures, and even really mixing it in your own. In my own cooking that I do at home, just like kind of like mixing it up between the two cultures has been an experience, especially I know for Sashel and myself.
Wild child, your mixed experience has caused you to not play by the rules when it comes to food. I watched this man take a bag of chai tea and open it up to spice his chicken with. That's creative, if you ask me.
Also delicious.
So good.
That sounds so good.
It's so good. The chai tea gives it like a little spiciness to it. So
yeah, that sounds so good.
So that's what we're talking about today. And since we've already started talking about it, we can just start with that. How our cultures, how we grew up, or even the cultures we grew up around, because being from Buffalo, there's a lot of cultural lines here in the city.
Right.
And how it affected us kind of in growing into adults. Like, holy crap. I just want to say, first of all, that growing up Italian has been an honor and a privilege, especially when it comes to food. Like, it's a different experience. Like, my family
I concur. I'm not Italian, but I've eaten at your house.
It gets real. And if you're listening, grandma, if you're listening, thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. Jim, if you're listening, thank you. Because honestly, it really started to shape like what good food is in my mind. And again, I don't want to say I'm a food snob, but I definitely growing up was kind of like, wait, this is microwave chicken Parmesan? Yeah, I'm good. And then people would be like, yo, food's food. And obviously I understood that once I started paying for it myself. But Italian food's expensive if you're making the good stuff. But yeah, it's been a pleasure.
It's different though. Italian food has like days worth of care and like sauces and seasonings mixing together.
The love. Yeah. The love that's cooked into the lasagna is what makes it so good. So good. And if you can't tell, we're all hungry. By the way.
I'm super hungry.
We're all tired of food. Sasha's looking off to the corner like, damn it. How am I going to eat on this podcast without anyone noticing?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You're going to hear like crinkles, and we're going to stop talking, and she can stop. And it's crinkles, and then stop.
No, all my food is all the way in my kitchen.
Oh, yeah, it's far away. We're safe.
It's far.
Sashel has to move. We're safe. She's not going to do it.
I could just go like grab a cucumber and eat it. That'd be fine.
Oh no. On film too. At this point, what are we paying you for?
Do it.
That's a whole different vibe. Your family, honestly, so I'm not Italian at all. And the most Italian food that I grew up eating was Prego and Ragu, I will tell you. But your house, I learned some things about pasta sauce. and also
Yeah.
cookies.
Oh my Oh my God, the cookies. The
The
cookies.
cookies.
My grandma actually, because of our last conversation, I talked to her recently. If you haven't watched episode 1, go watch episode 1. Recently, I asked her what those were called, and they were what? Do you remember? I
Pizza?
forgot again. No, no, no.
No.
They're like wedding cookies or something.
Italian wedding cookies.
Right. And she has an Italian name for them. There's an actual I don't remember what it is
I'm sure
off the top
there
of my
is.
head. But then I asked her like, "Oh, how do you make those? Like what's in them?" So I found out exactly what she makes them with. She puts like walnut extract in there and like she really fine tunes that flavor and then you have to bake it perfectly so it's kind of hard on the outside but like soft on the inside. And she said she'd make me some. So if she makes me some, I will mail you some.
Oh.
That's the best news I've
Perks of
had
having
all
an
day.
Italian grandmother that's not your actual grandmother.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh.
Because, I mean, the cookie culture is strong. And, I mean, obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that I like my cookies. But, like, the culture of eating in my family was, like, religious almost. Like, the meals were... even when we stopped eating altogether, because, you know, the 21st century happened and we all kind of started to eat in front of our computers after a while. But the dinner itself was a sacred thing. Like, it was never to be taken lightly dinner. Like, there was never a day where my mom was just like, I don't know, have cereal. Like it just, like, it never... And, you know, shout out to my mom because you really take for granted when meals are cooked for you, when it's there your whole
Yeah,
life.
that's some dedication.
Right, like for years and years and years. And don't get me wrong, we fucking went out to restaurants and stuff. It's not like we didn't, but there was really just this culture of my mom would cook dinner. She would cook a good dinner, like it was good. It was good food, right?
Now that you're an adult, you realize what that took.
What that took, that dedication. I think Sashel is frozen. Oh no, she's just thinking.
She's just frozen in real
Sorry.
life.
She's IRL frozen this time.
I literally was just thinking, I was thinking about how much work it would be to cook dinner every day for a family.
Yeah,
I literally
me and my
don't
brother are
even-
giants.
No, but the thing is I don't even cook dinner for myself every day because I'm lazy.
Right.
Like, and
Right.
I have other things to do that is not slave in front of a stove. Like, there are nights where I'm just like, yep, a packet of ramen will do it.
Right.
Cause that's all I have energy
Same.
/ time for. So
Same.
to make like a full meal for your family is actually something that's kind of insane, you
Right.
know?
And then you think about how it's like translated over time. Like you said, it was like a ritual. It was like almost a religion,
Yeah.
which I can relate to as well. Because I think even all the way up until I was moving on out after college, my parents would like have dinner and everyone would get together like without fail.
Right.
And that's pretty hard to do too. Like everybody sit down at the kitchen table, stop what you're doing, enjoy this meal that mom worked really hard for.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy because at my house, I mean, at least since middle school, like my mother would cook almost every day, but then we never ate together. So it was always
Right.
like she would eat and I would be at school doing, you know, whatever I
Right.
had to do. And like our schedules just didn't match. So we couldn't all eat as a family. So my parents would, like, leave my food in the microwave, you know, for me
Right.
to eat when I got home or something like that.
Right.
You know,
That's,
so
I mean, I
that's
had a
interesting to
little bit
hear.
of that in high school because of my sports freaking schedules were crazy. I'd be coming home at like 8 p.m. So like it started being like that towards the end, but my mom would wait. Like my mom would like just be like, "Oh, I want us all to be together and I want it to be hot. I want it to be a meal." Now, granted, your mom was also like, you know, having a career and stuff. So my mom,
That's true.
she was
That's
kind of
true.
the
My mom
stay-at-home
worked a
mom
lot.
for most of my life. Like she was always there. She worked, you know, it's not like she didn't work, but like, you know, it was very rare for patches of time where we needed it or something. And just like that, to have the time, and the dedication to be like, okay, we're having this meal on this day, this meal on this day, this meal on this day, and I got to make sure I have all the groceries for those meals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's just,
You're right. I even forgot about grocery shopping.
right. The grocery shopping is like a thing. I used to hate going grocery shopping with my mother. I used to hate it, man.
The other factor that we're not like considering is having 3 and 4-year-old like just barbarians running around your feet at the same time that you're trying to get these ingredients.
Oh
and,
yeah.
like,
Oh,
plan.
my mom had a. My mom is when she got less hood as the years progressed, but when we were young, like it was like, don't make me beat you in front of all these people, like, and you just kind of realize like, and no, I was not traumatized or beaten by my mother. It was just like that hood parent threat of like, don't make me put my foot all the way up in your ass in front of all these nice people.
I'll open up a can of whoop ass.
So we were generally pretty well behaved when it came to my worst thing was I would wander. I don't know about you guys, but I was always the worst at staying with the group. Like, I would always kind of like
Sebastian goes off on his own adventure.
Yeah, and then my mom frantically
I literally
looking for
have
me.
no trouble thinking that that's true. Knowing you, I'm literally, I almost never got, that never happened to me. I would stick as close to my mom as possible in public, but that's because as a child, like, I had no identity.
Right.
I was a shy person that was just like, I am a piece of my mother.
Right.
I will stick.
I am an appendage.
You guys will laugh.
Yeah,
because
I'm just like hugging her leg, just like, I am this leg.
Right.
That's
Bo's
all you need to
distracted
know
by
about
all the food that's going into the car.
you guys
Yeah,
will
Bo's
laugh.
just like, food. I'm over here like, where's my mother?
My experience in the grocery store as a young child is me getting like stuck on something and not realizing that everyone else has moved on. Like the cart's been long gone. We're on to different things. And
Just
like,
Dani picking her belly button, staring.
that would be a really nice snack. Yeah, we probably won't get it. Anyway, Mom. Oh, I gotta catch up.
Mom, see, it's funny because I had the exact opposite experience. The reason why it was so volatile is because when you're a kid, and you know, we didn't always live in the best areas. So like when you're a kid, when you're 4 years old and you disappear, my mom goes into full my kid got abducted mode. Like my mom goes into full, like, goes up to the front and gets people. If there is a Sebastian in the store, could you please come up to the registers? Your mother is looking for you. And like, that's happened. That would happen all the time. That would literally happen all the time. And she would just be like a frenzy. She'd be like, "What? I thought someone took you." And the funny thing is, like, I've always been a big dude. So my stepdad would always like joke, like, who the hell is gonna put the effort in to steal them? Like, that's effort. Like,
Right,
that's
he's the
effort.
wrong one to steal.
Right, like it's not worth stealing him. But it was just always like funny because my mom would get really worked up and like shit, her hood would come out a little bit. She'd be like, "Oh my God, I swear to God, if I have to whoop your ass for all these people, I will. I swear. You better stand next to me." And I'm just sitting here like, oh. But as we got older, shopping became a lot more of a like literally just, we were there to carry the water and the dog food or anything heavy. So that was the only reason we were ever there. So we're just literally walking around like eye rolling, just fucking bored, trying to wait for my mom to shop. Because my mom is the kind of shopper, she doesn't shop like efficiently. And I love my mom to death. I love my mom.
She shops emotionally.
She shops emotionally. So she'll go in and she'll go right to the milk section. She's like, "Oh, I want all this." And she'll realize, wait, it's probably not a good idea to start here because I'm going to be here for a while and all this stuff's going to be in the cart. She'll put it all back. Then she'll go and like around to the other side, see a bunch of stuff she wants on the way. She'll grab it. And then she'll get to the other side. She'll grab all this stuff and she'll realize she passed the drinks. So she'll go back to the drinks and then start getting drinks. Then she realized she passed the pasta and go back to the whole thing. Looks like a scribble all over the map.
Yeah.
And for someone
That's
like me,
crazy.
for someone like me who's just, I'm a categorically organized kind of a person. Like I like things to make sense. I like order. For me, it was just torture, man. Just being in that store for 4 hours, running around all over the place. It was just like absolute torture, but you did it. You did it because you knew that the dividends coming from this shopping trip were totally worth it.
Yeah, I'll say my experience shopping. So, first of all, my mom doesn't make lists, but she does not shop like that. So every time we went into the store, like I literally still remember the layout of Wegmans. And like we would go that way into the produce section, start there, go to the deli and the bread section,
Yep.
and then the meat, and then you move on to cheese and dairy and eggs, and then you go into the aisles where you get like your pasta, your
Right.
like random snacks, any drinks that you need, and then at the end we got cat food and like toilet paper if we needed it.
Right.
But that was like we always had the same exact route through
That's me.
Wegmans.
That is literally me to a T. Like I
literally
have the same.
exact. But the only reason, like my mom never ever wanted us, like we didn't need to go. But the only reason I always went was because like my mother hoards things. So she shops for herself and then she'll like shop separately for my brother and I. And that's like me and my brother, just because
They eat
like
different
we
things.
we eat different things. Yeah.
And your mom's like,
Like-
all the Chef Boyardee.
Yeah,
all
like
the
I
ramen.
can't
You guys
I
like
can't
this, right?
I
I was
can't
like,
eat
yeah.
Chef Boyardee.
You're just like,
And
my
like,
sodium.
Mom, buy me some vegetables, please. Like a bag of spinach, a bag of carrots, and a cucumber will do.
Back
Like,
to the cucumbers again, Sasha. No, just
I love cucumbers. They're
They
crunchy and delicious.
so good.
Love
Cucumbers are
cucumbers.
amazing.
They're so
A
good.
moment of appreciation for cucumbers.
Who doesn't like cucumbers? I like pickles. I like cucumbers. They're like
I hate
cucumber
pickles.
is just delicious. How do you hate pickles?
I hate pickles. Hear me out. And this actually will nice segue back into our actual conversation. Pickles, my mom loved pickles. She used to drink the pickle juice and
Ooh.
like always eat pickles. So naturally,
That's a lot of vinegar.
people
That's a lot of sodium, children.
Yes, that's a lot of thought. Like naturally, she would like palate how she liked things to us, just because she doesn't know our palates.
She gets what she likes, and then you guys are
Right.
kind of like a
And-
byproduct.
Oh, so
Pickles?
she ignored the whole second half that my mom did.
Yes, pickles always to me seemed like the kind of food you eat when you don't want to taste what you're eating, right? And it's kind of that hot sauce conundrum where like, why would you put pickles on a burger if you want to taste the meat of the burger? Because all you're gonna taste is pickle.
I don't want
Pickle.
to taste the meat of a burger.
I
'cause
don't want to taste the meat.
It's
Yeah.
cheap meat. It's greasy. It's occasionally a bone. Like, let's throw a pickle on top of all that. A flavor I'm guaranteed to enjoy. A crunch
it's
I'm
crisp.
guaranteed
And
to
my
enjoy.
Italian
Call it a
family,
day.
my Italian family, very into the vinegary palate. Like they like
Mm.
olives. They
Me
like
too. Feta
I love
cheese,
olives.
A good
Right.
green
Oh.
olive.
yeah. I mean that's very Greek also, but
Pepperoncini.
very Italian as well.
Banana pepper.
And you would just for me, like anytime I go to a family gathering and they would have like macaroni salad, but they put olives in it, and I'm like, nah,
Fuck yeah.
can't fuck with it now. Like I cannot do olives, I can't do pickles, I can't do any of that shit. So then like that's kind of where I found solace with my black side of my family, because listen good, I don't like pickles. Pickles and Nashville style chicken or jerk chicken or any of the like those fried chicken varieties slaps. It slaps. It's so good. The pickles make it, right? And it's
Pickles
just,
and jerk chicken
right,
is good.
dude,
You're
like,
right.
and you have this like realization, like, did I just not like pickles because all the white people in my life were telling me how to use pickles? But realistically, I should have not been listening to them about how to use this bitter kind of stuff. Because like seriously, like I don't like hot sauce either. Big surprise, like Frank's hot sauce or like the Tabasco. Like I'm not a fan of those. So a lot of my black family would always kind of like, make their stuff traditionally pretty hot or covered in hot sauce, or just traditionally. That's just how they would do things over there. So I'd always be the one like, can I have no hot sauce? And they make me the little extra plate to the side that didn't have the hot sauce, or like the extra spicy stuff they put in the greens, which I still to this day don't know what that is. But it really what like you get like a piece of it and it's just like
And collard greens.
ooh! Yeah. It's almost like peppercorn. It's almost like a peppercorn.
Yeah, my family doesn't use anything spicy in collard greens.
It's not like even innately spicy. It's just like you get a chunk of it and it's like ooh, what the hell was that? Right?
It might just be peppercorn.
It might just be peppercorn. But like literally, like the black side of my family kind of understood a little bit more. And again, I didn't really spend a lot of time with them. Like it was maybe in my formative years, my first 7 to 8 years of my life. But the food really stuck out to me. The way that like we would eat, the way things were just like made, it was so much more flavor. And I know it's a stereotype to say white people don't season their stuff. I know this isn't true. I grew up in an Italian house, flavor out the woozang, but it always came from the ingredients. It always came from the ricotta cheese. It always came from the. Sorry, I'm doing that to appease my grandmother. The ricotta cheese, and the mozzarella, and the sauce, and the meatballs, and like it would come. That's where the flavor comes from, and then the little notes of what they use to make the food are kind of the underneath. But then when you go to like black food, traditionally everything is seasoned to high hell. Like literally like it's like the boldest flavor, the most like zest, the most spice, the most, and I fucked with it. I loved it. Like it was like a new chapter for me because all my life I'd been kind of like, okay, that's good, but the flavor is kind of, it's not like necessarily where I want it to be. And then I became an adult with this new idea of like, okay, well, maybe black people just need a little bit more something in their food to like, so that to taste it the same way. And I started cooking, like I made my own version of my own sauce, a slight variation of the one that my family uses, that is much spicier and is much more flavorful in my
Yours
personal
is
opinion.
spicy,
In my
but it
personal
still
opinion.
is.
It's so good. It's so good. So like having that mix of the Italian culture, the savory, the cheesy, the even the bitter parts of it, and then having that African American gene, which I mean, like if you look in history, uh, for a short period to longish period where we had to eat the worst food imaginable, wonder
Isn't it
why?
historically proven that they were
Right. Well,
given
here's
the
the
worst
thing.
parts
So
of the
African American Africans are generally more
One step up from pig slop.
right. Africans are generally more spice driven. African cuisine does have a lot of spice in it, but when you come to America, and you're given food, and the only reason I'm not bringing it up, people, is levity. I understand exactly why this happened, and so does Sashel, and we are very aware of it. However, what we're talking about is the fact that because for so long, the food that we were eating, our genetic ancestors were eating, was so gross. Like it wasn't the good parts of the pig. It wasn't the good parts of like chitlins, bro. I've eaten chitlins many times in my life, and that food is literally like if you've ever been around when they're cooked, that
Oh,
food,
it smells so
that
bad.
food is literally poop.
It smells so bad.
I love me some chitlins, but
it's so tasty though, but it smells so bad.
But because of that, like they would spice the living hell out of it. They would throw sugar. They would throw
get creative
salt and turmeric and like all kinds of
spices,
crazy spices into their food so that it was edible and it was palatable. And then you do that for 400 years. How many generations is that? How many generations does it take for a human to adapt to the new environment? And that kind of thing, when growing up in a predominantly white household, like most of my relatives that I really know are Italian or of Italian descent, and you're just like sitting here like eating the sauce, and someone's like, "Oh, it's a little too much like oregano in this." I'm like, "There's oregano in this?"
You're like, "What oregano?"
Like what oregano? It tastes like tomato paste, like oh, we put several cloves of garlic in there. Like I don't taste that shit. Like what the hell? But then I had my actual first real jerk chicken was actually out here. We had just moved to this apartment, and there was a restaurant around the corner that actually makes good soul food. And my dad took me there for dinner, and I got the jerk chicken because I've heard about it my whole life. My family does enjoy it, but I've just never had the honor. And bro, like you want to talk about spice? It's not. I mean, a good jerk is hot, but like it like so many flavors. It's so flavorful. It is so.
It's literally sensory overload.
It is so much, and it is so good. It is so. I was like, damn, I've been missing out, man. Like my whole life, like I could have been having this all the time, and like, damn, it's so good with the sauce. And I hate pineapple. There was like pineapple there. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. And then like yesterday was Dani's first lemon pepper chicken wing.
So good.
So,
Lemon pepper chicken is one of the best things I've ever put in my
so
mouth,
good.
to be honest.
So
But the thing is I don't have the same, so I can handle a lot of spice.
right.
But my preference is more on the bland side.
On the bland side?
More like, okay, not on the bland side, but like not salty.
Like you're more savory. You're more. It's not sweet, but it's like naturally not.
Yeah, I like natural flavors. I'll say that. Like I like the taste of ingredients, like you said. Like if something's gonna have like if you're putting different kinds of chili peppers in something and it has that spice of a chili pepper, that's so much better than me than adding like a bunch of hot sauce
I
and
agree.
making a spice.
I agree.
You know what I
completely.
mean?
Yes.
And like I have serrano chilies that I just kind of cook and eat randomly. They're in my
Chilies are good.
fridge.
Chili peppers are good.
I just eat them. Like I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna like literally saute some chilies in a little bit of safflower oil and eat them and call it a day.
Probably
But
why your shopping bill is so much cheaper than. You're like, I just need this.
'cause
All right, good.
like eat vegetables.
I'm over here like I need this spice, this spice, this spice, this vegetable for flavoring, this vegetable for substance. Then I need this meat and this meat. like, I need sesame oil, olive oil. And I'm making art over here in my kitchen, bro. Like it's
Yeah, I'm literally just making sustenance. But to be honest, I can also just eat plain rice and still be fine.
yeah, that to me, you are strange to me with that. You eat ice. You literally
You're
eat
right.
something that tastes like nothing. Like you eat. I think bland is the perfect way to describe your.
That doesn't have a taste.
You're like, yo, can I have
I did-
edamame without any salt? Just give me the
Yeah.
plant.
Oh,
Give me
I'll
the
eat
plant.
edamame. To be honest, anything that's cold and crunchy, I'll probably like it.
You probably like lima beans. You nasty.
I do like lima
You
beans.
nasty.
Wait, why don't you like lima
You
beans? What's
nasty.
wrong
Who
with
likes
lima beans?
All right, comments. Tell us who the hell likes
Yeah.
lima beans out there.
Okay, I will say though, I'm the kind of person that like you can give me like a bag of baby spinach and I will eat it while watching TV like someone eats a bag of Doritos.
That's weird. But also,
No,
but
it's not, because
here's the
vegetables
question.
have real flavors. I can taste them. But when they're all put together, I can't like in tomato
Yes.
sauce, like basil, nah,
I
lost
feel
on
you
me.
on that just because I eat my salad without any dressing as well. Like, well, sometimes I'll throw some, but like for the most part, I like the taste of the vegetables themselves. But the thing is, spinach, bro, spinach is like bitter and like gross. You know what I mean? Like to me, or like plain rice. You can taste the graininess of just plain rice when you eat it by itself, and
Yeah,
that to me
you
is
can.
that those natural flavors, man, are not.
I mean,
my
if you're
thing.
gonna eat something like that, you need to enjoy the flavor of it. That's how I feel about buttered noodles. I can eat so much plain buttered noodles because the actual flavor of it to me is fine.
But
Dani,
here's-
it's not
delicious.
plain if it's buttered.
buttered, right?
First of all. Second of all, I cannot eat buttered noodles.
I
And
can't eat
it's
rice.
because I literally can't eat that much butter. Like all that it literally I feel like I'll have a heart attack.
That's
If
that's kind of leading to this conversation of like, I definitely tend to lean more African American in my tastes, and then you
Preferences.
who are also
I
mean,
yeah.
stick around, guys, because at our YouTube channel at Bouyo Pro on YouTube, we are going to do Ancestry.com DNA tests, and we're gonna find out what
So excited.
what we actually are. But it's just interesting that me and Sashel both consider ourselves like categorically mixed. You know, we have a lot of cultures in us. We don't necessarily know what all those cultures are, but it's interesting to find out after a lifetime of growing up eating Italian food, or a lifetime of growing up eating what your mom would make, and finding out later that like we just didn't have the same palate. I wonder how many people out there that are like that. Like I know there are picky kids, but is it the same thing as being like, Ma, I really wish you put some cumin in this chili? Like, you know what I mean? Is there a difference between just being picky and also like just having a different palate because of the genes that are mixed in with us? That's an interesting
That's
question.
fair. Yeah, that's a fair question. And also it's really interesting because yeah, my brother can eat basically dog food and like it. So
That's true. I've seen
that's
it.
something I can't do. Like,
That's true.
like canned meat is weird for me.
Yeah. Maybe shredded chicken if I'm making like a fucking casserole.
Oh, I
Maybe.
can't do cheap meat.
Maybe.
I have to hide it with
Right.
pickles.
So the thing is, okay, so I also found out that I can't do cheap meat. And like I can eat like chicken thighs, but
Right.
it has to be real meat, right?
Right.
So I get like chicken thighs are cheap, but also I know that it's the thigh of a chicken and I can eat it. It's fine.
Right.
I don't like processed meat. And I found out, so my mother, she is one of those, she likes her meat basically burnt.
Oh, my mom too.
Yeah,
Oh.
she's like, well done, as well as you can get it, like no pink, no. And I'm like, I don't understand your life because
Fundamentally.
when I turned 17, I was dating a guy and his family, they wanted to have like they cook steaks on a barbecue. And I didn't think to like I had never eaten anything other than well done meat
Bricks.
in my life.
I can
Like
relate to
I have
this.
never
Bricks.
I
You
had
didn't think
never
to tell them you
eaten.
wanted it well done or anything. You
Yeah,
just
I
let
didn't
them
even
cook
think.
it
I was
how
just
they
like,
were
oh,
gonna
this is
cook
just
it.
how it's done, right?
Yeah.
But they made it medium. And it was the most delicious thing I ever put in my mouth in terms of beef.
Right.
And I was just like, steak can taste like this?
What?
Like there was no need for steak sauce, which now I don't eat at all
Right.
because
Same.
if it's a good steak, why do you need steak
don't.
sauce?
You literally
Also, if
don't.
you didn't burn your steak, you don't need steak sauce.
Right.
But yes, so I found out like that was one of the first times that I had realized that I had such different taste from my mother, and it was mostly because I hadn't explored my taste.
Right.
Like there were things that I liked that I didn't even realize that I could like,
Ah,
Dude, that's
which is so
perfect
fun.
segue, bro. Because, dude, what if someone were to ask me personally what my favorite food of all time is? What I could eat every day and never get sick of it? Eastern Asian food.
Me too.
Eastern Asian food. Obviously, like
surprise!
I haven't gone into
Surprise.
surprise. I haven't gone into like obviously the very, very like I've never eaten a live octopus, never done any of that. But when it comes to the palate, when it comes to the actual flavor, right? It packs a punch spice wise. It fills that need, but also it's so savory. Like the things that they use, so like it kind of hits both of the palates that I've grown to like have. And then I like pork belly for example. If some of you don't know what pork belly is, okay, it's meat taken from not the lining of the stomach or anything. It's just literally that's the cut. It's that. So it tends to be a little thicker of fat. Let's has a little bit of fattier content. But the way that this pork cooks is
It's like what
just-
bacon wants to be.
It's like literally, it's like grown up bacon. It's like it doesn't taste, and for you guys out there, it doesn't taste like bacon really.
No,
It just that's how it cooks, kind of, right? And
so good.
it is literally my favorite meat of all time, like hands down. Like pork belly. If I'm going to a new Korean place or if I'm going to a new Japanese place, I'm ordering pork belly. Like period. It is literally
Yeah.
my favorite food.
I will say, to be honest, my favorite food is probably sushi.
Shocker.
I know, right? But the thing is it's flavorful on its own. You know, like
Right.
it tastes like the ingredients.
Right.
Like there's crunchy, there's cold crunchy stuff.
Right.
There's cold crunchy stuff, and then also there's so much flavor. And raw fish doesn't bother me. And now that I know that raw meat is an available thing for humans to consume,
Well,
I definitely did some
disclaimer
exploring.
for anyone who doesn't know better. Don't eat raw beef, chicken.
You can
or
eat raw
pork.
beef, actually.
I mean, there's
You
tartare,
can't eat-
there's special, like there's specific ways to do it. But if you just out here eating steaks without cooking them, you're gonna get sick.
No. Yeah,
Disclaimer:
don't do that.
you're gonna get sick. And same thing with fish. Even you have to get sushi grade fish. If you get, you could get sick, man.
Yes.
Don't. Just a disclaimer out there for those who don't know better. But continue.
Fair enough. Okay. That's a fair disclaimer. But the thing is after my experience with the steak, I then decided I was gonna try a bunch of other foods. Then I started eating like the closest, like I like eggs over easy.
Same, bro.
But before that, I had never had anything but scrambled eggs.
Right. That's all my mom ever made was
Because
scrambled.
that's all my mom made, because that's all she liked. Like, she likes her eggs fully cooked, her meat fully cooked. So, and then I tried sushi, and I was just like, oh, this is amazing. It fit my palate so well. Everything tasted so fresh.
Right.
And it was just so good, and then on top of that, there's a lot of other Asian dishes, but I really enjoy the seafood aspect.
Yes.
Like, seafood is my thing. I've even now had cuttlefish.
Oh,
Like-
yes. Yes.
Like, I ate a raw cuttlefish, and it was
It's
delicious.
so good, but also
And didn't realize that squid ink, or cuttlefish ink, tastes good.
right.
It's
It's
good.
I mean, honestly, I've had it kind of not necessarily raw, like just like they put it on pasta and they didn't really do anything to season
Oh, the
it.
squid ink?
That's not
Mhm.
my favorite. But when they make like a squid ink and soy sauce kind of a sauce, oh my God. It's so good. It's salty,
It's
but
delicious.
it's good.
It is salty.
It's so good.
Yeah, but the thing is like there's just there's other cuisines to explore. But sushi is definitely up there. Pho
Pho,
is
which for those of you who don't know is traditionally a Vietnamese dish. Such a good. My first
so good.
my first pho ever was made for me by a white dude. Like, and he made it like, oh God, I can't remember his name. It was Vo's neighbor.
What?
No, not when you lived on Hemlock, where in the house that he was living in for a long
The
time.
I feel like
downstairs
his neighbor's
neighbor?
name
Yeah.
was Jose.
No, downstairs.
No, downstairs neighbor.
Elwood?
I don't remember.
Elwood or something close like that. He would
don't
always call him
remember.
by his last name, but this kid was a cooking genius. Like, this kid had all the like gadgets to like do the cool stuff with cooking. He was like
Ooh.
seasoning and aging his meat. Like, he was going hard, right? And Vo was like, "You want to come eat some food with me and unknown neighbor?" And I was just like, "The foot is foot. Like, what the hell? Like, what are you saying? What are you saying to me right now?" And he was just like,
eat some pho? Like, what's pho?
he was like, "No, it's pho. It's like a soup, kind of. It's got noodles. It's good." I was like, "Yeah, fuck it. It's kind of like ramen." I was like, "All right." So that was my first pho, and oh my gosh, like, dude, that was my first time having bean sprouts in a soup, which was just like, now I want them in all my soups. Like bean sprouts just add that crunch, that perfect flavor
And a freshness.
to a soup, and I was just like, damn, dude. And then they had the meat, which is just like thinly sliced heaven beef. And you're just like, dude, like, why have I not been eating this my whole life? So I've asked my parents. I don't know if you guys have had this conversation with your parents, but I have definitely asked my parents, why have you never tried? Because my stepdad, very worldly man, he enjoys food from all over, but he has a very strict palate. He doesn't really like Mexican food. He doesn't really like Asian food. Like, he kind of sticks to the Italian and the fish and the meat. So I asked him, like, dude, how have you never had pho or ramen or pork belly or any of this stuff? Because I know he would like it if he tried it. Kimchi. He would love kimchi. I know he would love. He likes cabbage.
He loves the fancy section of Wegmans. He's
Right.
always coming with jars that are
Right.
expensive,
He would
being
love
like,
kimchi,
try this
but the
specific
fact
flavor.
that it's Eastern Asian, it's kind of off limits to him. He doesn't want to do it. So I've asked them, hey man, like, why? Like, what is there a reason? And their answer is always the same. It messes their body up. Like, they feel sick after eating. I don't know if Sashel froze.
Definitely.
Is she gone?
She logged off.
Oh God. She's been like that for a while, so I don't even know where the fuck we were at. Sash, if you can hear us, just exit out and come back in, girl. Hello? How's it going, everyone? You may not be used to seeing me this way, but I am Sebastian, the editor. So I'm the one that leaves all the funny comments and all the things that you see in the video. Unfortunately, I'm here to tell you today, because of connectivity issues during the episode, a lot of the audio that came from the second half of this podcast got screwed up. We're really sorry. We didn't know it was happening. We usually test for this stuff. We've done a lot of things to make sure that this stuff doesn't happen, but sometimes stuff like this happens, and I'm really sorry. But what you're about to hear is the end of the episode, the outro of the episode. It's corrupted. You're going to hear what we've had to deal with, but in the future, we are definitely going to take more measures to see if we can fix these problems, and hopefully never have to do this again. You never have to see my face again, except for on the episodes, because I am not two different people, I think. So thank you guys for understanding, and enjoy the very corrupted, terrible ending of Mixed Edition episode 2. Stay cultured. But as we wrap this up, I think that what we talked about today is an important part of all of our individual cultures. Food, as Sashel was saying, is that connecting device between cultures, even in a world divided into a bunch of different cultures. Now, what does a world look like where we stop putting up the dividers and just all start eating everything? That's the world I want to live in. And on that note, that's the end. Stay cultured, everybody. Thank you for joining us.
Let's all smile like Sashel is right now. We love you. Thank you for your support. Keep listening for new episodes. Thank you.
Bye.